Alright folks, if you're a fan of Raid Shadow Legends, you already know the thrill of building up your ultimate champion squad and diving deep into a dark, gritty fantasy world. It's not just about flashy moves and epic battles, there's actually a lot of strategy behind those 4 affinities, and mastering them can seriously change the game. And let's be honest, for a mobile game, Raid brings some serious depth. The lore, the turn-based combat, the collection grind, it all just hits the right spot for RPG lovers. But hey, what if you've been grinding for a while and want something similar? Not a copycat, but a game that gives off the same vibes? Well, you're in luck. Today, we're diving into the best mobile games like Raid Shadow Legends. These picks won't just fill the RSL-shaped hole in your heart, they might even surprise you with fresh mechanics, gorgeous visuals, and just the right amount of addictive gameplay. Let's get into it. I'm quickly moving on to the video.
Portion of the
Before we
audience
start,
is subscribed
if you enjoy
to the
these
channel.
types of list videos,
Please
don't forget to like the
subscribe if you
video
like these
and
types of
subscribe.
videos.
Enjoy watching.
Thanks.
If you are hunting for a mobile game that scratches the same itch as Raid Shadow Legends, then you might want to check out Age of Magic. It is set in a dark, dystopian world where magic is very much alive, but not in the peaceful, sparkly way you might imagine. We are talking full-blown disaster vibes, where monsters roam free and war is always just around the corner. Sounds intense, right? Well, it is, but in the best way possible. What makes Age of Magic stand out is how it blends classic fantasy elements with a slow burn progression system. This is not one of those games where you burn through everything in a weekend. Instead, it rewards patience and smart team building over time. There is a rich campaign mode where you can dive deep into the story and really get a feel for the world. And for those of you who love a good player versus player challenge, the game lets you battle it out against other players' squads whenever you feel like it. Visually, let us be honest, Raid Shadow Legends still holds the crown when it comes to graphics, but Age of Magic, it is not far behind. The character designs are solid, the animations feel smooth, and the environments have that dark, mystical energy that pulls you in. If you enjoy that mix of strategy, fantasy, and just a bit of chaos, Age of Magic definitely earns a spot on your list of best mobile games like Raid. If you are tired of dark and gritty fantasy worlds, let me introduce you to something a little more vibrant, Waven. This game throws you straight into a sun-soaked, ocean-drenched world called 12, where almost everything has been swallowed by water. Sounds peaceful, right? Well, not exactly. You, the player, are the captain of your own little adventure, sailing between islands, dealing with factions, and slowly carving out your legend one battle at a time. What really makes Waven shine is its style. I mean, the graphics are stunning, bright, bold, and packed with personality. It feels like a graphic novel came to life, with every island offering something visually unique. But do not let the colorful look fool you. Beneath that charming surface, there is real strategy involved. Whether it is building your spell deck or navigating the political mess between territories, there is always something to think about. And speaking of strategy, here is a tip for new players. Do not rush to use your powerful spell upgrades early on. Waven is pretty friendly for beginners, definitely more forgiving than Raid Shadow Legends, but if you want to make real progress, it pays to be smart with your resources. Build up your hero, explore the islands, and enjoy the ride. It is an oceanic odyssey worth diving into. If you are into futuristic vibes and love a good role-playing game, Dislyte might just catch your attention. You play as the Seeker, tasked with defending a sprawling cityscape and the entire country of Grandis from mysterious threats. What's cool is that the game really encourages you to jump into the story mode, especially on your first run, since it helps you level up faster and soak up experience. It's a nice way to get into the world without feeling overwhelmed. One thing that's a bit unusual compared to other games like Raid Shadow Legends is that Dislyte doesn't give you a big detailed map of its world. At first, that might sound frustrating, but honestly, it adds this extra layer of mystery. You get to imagine and speculate about places like Greywater and Tangton, provinces that seem to exist outside the main control. It kind of makes the whole world feel bigger and more intriguing, which is a neat touch for players who enjoy lore and world building. Now, when it comes to gameplay mechanics, Dislyte is definitely a gacha game, just like Raid Shadow Legends. But here's the thing, most players agree that Raid is a bit more generous with upgrades and daily rewards. Dislyte can feel a little tougher to grind sometimes, but if you enjoy that challenge and the futuristic setting, it is definitely worth a shot. Plus, the art and music are pretty slick, so it has a style all its own. If you're into mobile games with jaw-dropping visuals, Dragonheir Silent Gods might just be your next obsession. The artwork here seriously goes toe-to-toe with Raid Shadow Legends, and that's saying something. What's really cool is the way the tutorial throws you right into an epic boss fight called the Child of Chaos. Yes, a boss battle before you even start proper gameplay. It definitely sets the tone for how intense this game can get. Now, the campaign in Dragonheir Silent Gods isn't your typical run-through levels experience. Each day brings a fresh batch of challenges, keeping things exciting and unpredictable. Plus, the game is pretty generous with codes that give you boosts, which is always a nice bonus. But the best part? The side quests and extra challenges aren't just laid out in front of you from the start. Instead, they're tucked away, waiting to be discovered, which adds a fun sense of exploration. If you're looking for a game that mixes gorgeous visuals with strategic depth and a little mystery, Dragonheir Silent Gods definitely deserves a spot on your radar. It's not just about assembling your team, it's about diving into a world that keeps surprising you, even after hours of play. So, if Raid Shadow Legends is your benchmark, this one's a strong contender to check out. If you are into monster-themed games with a futuristic fantasy twist, Summoner's War Sky Arena is definitely one to check out. The world is filled with all kinds of creatures, but what makes it interesting is that humans, known as summoners, actually control these monsters and send them into battle. It's a neat twist compared to other monster games where you usually just collect and level up creatures. You're really in the driver's seat here. Now, a lot of players think that Raid Shadow Legends inspired Summoner's War, and yeah, you can see some similarities in the gameplay style. But one big difference is the way the game handles upgrades and progression. Summoner's War doesn't have the same mercy system that Raid offers, so it can feel a bit tougher to get the top tier monsters or gear. That can be a challenge for new players, but also adds some extra grind and strategy if you're into that. On the graphics side, Summoner's War is solid, but it does fall a little behind Raid Shadow Legends, which still holds the crown for the best visuals in this genre. Still, if you like strategic battles with monsters and want a game that keeps you thinking about your team setup, Summoner's War Sky Arena is a classic worth diving into. It's got a big community and enough depth to keep you hooked. If you are a Marvel fan or just love superhero action, Marvel Strike Force is a game you'll want to jump into. It brings together some of the most iconic heroes and villains from the Marvel universe, letting you create teams that mix legends like Iron Man, Captain Marvel, or even Loki. The goal? To take down a powerful enemy called Boundless and save the day. It's a fantastic way to experience Marvel's epic battles right on your mobile. One thing that sets Marvel's Strike Force apart is how deep the character stories go. Compared to Raid Shadow Legends, this game gives you way more background on your favorite heroes and villains, plus a lot more training modules to level them up and customize their skills. It's great for players who love getting into the lore and spending time building their perfect team. That said, if you're all about jaw-dropping combat visuals, Raid Shadow Legends still has the edge. Marvel Strike Force's graphics are solid and vibrant, but Raid's animations and effects are a bit more polished. Still, if you want a superhero-themed mobile RPG with lots of content and character variety, Marvel Strike Force is definitely one of the top contenders out there. If you have ever even glanced at the Star Wars universe, then Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is a no-brainer to try. This game lets you collect characters from pretty much every corner of the franchise, from the original trilogy and sequel trilogy to fan favorites from The Mandalorian and Star Wars The Clone Wars. It's like having your own personal Star Wars team ready to battle wherever you go. Just like Raid Shadow Legends, the heart of the game is all about team building. The more thought and strategy you put into picking and positioning your characters, the better your chances of winning tough battles. It's not just about who is the strongest individually, but how well your team works together, which makes every match feel tactical and rewarding. One cool thing about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is that it tends to update way more often, bringing fresh content and new challenges regularly. Plus, it gives players more chances to upgrade their characters without spending money, which is always a plus. So if you want a gacha game with tons of Star Wars lore and constant updates, this one's definitely worth your time. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.